Hi, welcome to my video. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about my, pretty much my final setup with Gentoo. This is just like my overview, playing around with Gentoo. I have played around with Gentoo many times over the years. It's just, I'm playing around with it in Virtual Machine, but I'm kind of debating. Is that a kernel panic? It looks like it got a panic here. Alright, that's weird. Let's reset that. Not sure why it's doing that. Alright, slow it up. Don't panic. I don't know what happened there. So I'm debating on putting Gentoo on one of my systems. I do have a ThinkPad that I could put Gentoo on there, but I'm thinking dual core processors. Now, probably wouldn't be ideal to, I mean, it would be a good little machine to use Gentoo on it, but I'm thinking Gentoo would be more better for me with a desktop. I'm thinking maybe should I use it on this desktop here that I'm recording screencast? Should I use my content creating PC, which I use this computer mainly for everything else besides gaming. Literally everything else. This is the B550 Plus. The new build that I done last month. And I also got a new cooler. I got the Cooler Master Hyper 212. The latest one. That's the RGB one. And yeah, it's a very nice cooler. Yeah. That's all I got to say. That's cooler. I got some new case fans as well. I got the Corsair ML 120 millimeter fans. They glow blue. They're white with blue LED lights. I don't really care for the lights, but it's kind of hard to find fans without them. So they were good price. I got them for like $14 per fan. So I ordered 4 of them, 3 in the front, 1 in the rear. Because the fan that came with this case, I paid $100 for the case, so I'm guessing these fans are not good. But anyways, I just want to put better case fans. So yeah, this PC is working pretty good though. So this is my Gentoo setup. It's Gnome 45.2. So I got my network and audio now working, though the audio shows it as a dummy. I don't know why. Right here, dummy output. It kind of works, or I don't know if it works. But either way, it's not. I don't know. I don't know why. That could probably be all configured, but it also could just be in a virtual machine. I did install Pipewire, so I don't know what's the deal with that. The network does work, so that's good. It's a very bare bone system. Like, I don't have much on it, really. But, I mean, it works good. So, yeah. I'm debating if I want to have one computer using Gentoo as a host system. And the everyday computer system, would it be good? Now, I can install OBS. So I install some applications that I normally use, but Wonder if I can install OBS, because that's another application that I use, obviously. So OBS Studio. I just wonder, is it worth it? Is it worth it to use Gentoo? Requires, what it requires? Oh. Okay, let's do media dash video. Do I have to put that? So I need to really determine it, do I? Okay. So sudo nano / etc portage package use OBS Studio. I'm guessing that's how you would do it. So guessing that's what it's asking me to do. That might work. No, it doesn't work. What is it asking me to do? Do I really need to add all this? The following usage process use. Alright, well, let's add this then. Maybe that's why. What's... Oh, it needs this. I see. I copied the wrong thing. Okay, that's no problem. Let's fix that. Let's see if that works. Yeah, that works. So I'm still debating if I want to use this as a host system. You can also set this up with binary packages. It doesn't have every single packages, but it does have quite a lot of packages. Like for example, Firefox, I use -bin. I'm curious if they have this OBS as a bin file. Let's do that. Sudo emerge --ask OBS Studio -bin. Oops. There's no bin. There's only source. I'm not sure what has been. I know Firefox -bin that exists. Maybe you have to set something up to use bin. Let's see if they have GIMP as in bin. Nope. So, do they have GIMP as well? Yes. It's probably not ideal to do two at once, but oh well. It's pretty fast. I mean, it's already like 6 out of 12 done for OBS. There's a binary source for Gnome as well, as I read up, yeah, on it. And Firefox, for one thing, that's really good. Because I don't really need to compile Firefox. Unless I need a special feature in Firefox. I just need a browser. So the binary source is good enough for me. With OBS, I could tweak it out, add stuff, but I'm okay with the default settings because that's what I use with Arch Linux. I just install an Arch Linux and I use it. You know what I mean? GIMP is same idea. I don't really need any fancy stuff. I just use it, and it works really well. In the VM, I'm still trying to get used to the system, but I'm learning as like you got to emerge dash dash sync to basically update your portage. You need to what else? Then you do like a deep clean, dep clean, clean all the deps that you don't use, like all the dependencies basically. There's, it's a strange way of using. It's not strange. It's just different for me because I don't use Gentoo that often. It's just very like you do emerge dash dash sync. I am using the latest kernel though, 6.6.9, same one I have on Arch Linux. I got a kernel update, and this is how you basically update the system. It probably doesn't really need any update. It does say 9 config files and / porters needs updating. See the configuration files and configuration files update tools. I forgot how you update configuration files, but I could just man emerge. Love and upgrades. 1 reinstall. Sure. Like doing 3 things at once. I'm not sure if that's ideal, but this works. Still compiling Qt here. Still compiling GIMP. GIMP is almost done, really. 9 out of 11. And basically doing a system update or whatever you want to call it. It is complaining about this. So man eval, so emerge. So actions here, there's clean. Yeah, so dep clean, I used that before. List sync, yes, I did not. Emerge means to uninstall stuff basically. Ask auto mask, I think is update maybe. Deep, that's basically force, right? This flag forces emerge to consider the interdependencies. Oops, I didn't want to do that. So that's probably what it is, I think. Quit. So I think it's sudo emerge dash dash update dash dash deep at world. I think, yeah. It says it needs updating on the configuration and portage. But how do you update the config files? Is this how you do it? Interesting. So the GIMP is almost done. This is taking a while. Qt base 6.6.1. I think I'm doing too much things at once here. Not very ideal, but it shows how powerful Gentoo is. And what's great about source base, you can do many things at once. So rerunning. Is that what it? Yeah, it's doing that right there. GIMP is pretty much almost done. GEGL, that probably will take a while to compile. This will probably take a while too as well. Anyways, I'll let that do its thing. I don't really care. I'm probably not. This is not an ideal way of doing things. Don't do this like that. It's in a virtual machine, so I don't really care what happens. It doesn't really matter. It's a system that I can just do whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm just basically stress testing because I gave it 4 cores, 16 gigs of memory. This virtual machine is pretty beefy, but it's Gentoo. You kind of need a resource for it. With any other distributions, I would totally use half of each of this. 8 dual core, 2 cores usually. I know it's a little overkill, but it's a source-based system. You kind of need the power to compile, or at least you want, if you want it a little bit faster than just using dual core 8 gigs. So I gave a little bit more. I gave it double basically what I usually do for your VMs, but I do really like Gentoo, and I like Arch Linux as well, but I do have Arch Linux on all my computers. So my second favorite distribution is Gentoo. I don't talk about it much. I don't have it in my logo on my YouTube channel. I have every other distribution except for Gentoo. The reason for that is because I don't use Gentoo, but I respect Gentoo. And I probably wasn't playing around with Gentoo. I probably was thinking I was never going to touch it back again. But when I went back to Gentoo, it's like, yeah, I like this system. I don't know why. And a lot of people's like, oh, you got to maintain disk. And like, the more you learn about Gentoo, the better the system I find is good for me, man. The more I learn, like the reason why I don't use Gentoo, because I don't really know much about it, but the reason why I don't know much about it is because I don't use it that much. I use it, but I always take it off and put Arch Linux back on or some other distribution. Why do I like Gentoo? I don't know. It's hard to explain. I just like it. I like the full control over your system. I like that source can be configured. You can add features. You can actually add just the features you want in each software you have. That's what I think is really good about it. But a lot of the software I'm using, I just use default. But like with my Gnome, I basically use Gnome Lite. The reason for that is because it takes a long time to compile WebKit GTK, and I don't really care for that. I installed the light version of Gnome, and to me it's fine. I just need a good Gnome desktop, that's what this is, and I can run all my extensions, and yeah, it's bare bone. I actually kind of like that better, and you still have files, and it still works the way it should work, and works fine, and it works really good. I mean, I'm running this in a virtual machine, and it's running very good. And I know people's like, yeah, but it's Gnome, and Gnome is very heavy system, and blah 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 blah, and yeah, GIMP is almost done installing here. But what is a real Gentoo user? If you use Gnome, does it make you not a real Gentoo user as well? What does real Gentoo users use? They probably use like some tile and window manager because it doesn't take long to compile. Because Gnome it takes a while. But there is binary source for Gnome as well. So I mean, um, I don't know. Anyways, it works well. I could have choose a different desktop environment. I could have just used a Windows manager. I could use a tile and window manager. I could use OpenBox or Flexbox or Motif Windows manager. I don't know, something simple. But I choose GNOME because I like GNOME. And every system I'm going to use, I like to have GNOME in it. And I'm just a big fan of GNOME, and I really like GNOME 45. I really like the new workspace switcher. It's better than saying activities. I like this a lot better. This here is a big improvement for me with GNOME. I mean, I like GNOME before that, but with the workspace switcher, I really, really love this feature a lot. And 46 and 47, I heard they're supposed to add some more features like tiling features to the system and stuff like that. So that's going to be very interesting how things are going to be with GNOME in the future. But I think GNOME works really well. I really like the desktop. I like the fact that I have extensions that I can set up the way I like it. I don't have to use it default the way they set it up, because default GNOME, I don't really care for the layout they have. I'm glad that you can actually customize that with extensions to make things the way you want your system to be. So default, still, it's not bad. It's just not really my kind of way of workflow. I like this kind of workflow. I like to have my dock visible. I don't like it. I have to go here to go on my dock. It's just extra steps all the time. I like to just go to my dock right away. It's visible on my desktop. I can see it. That's why macOS does this way. It's just more convenient that way. Like, you have to go all the way to the corner, click on that, and then go to your dock. It makes the dock kind of pointless in a way, because the dock should be visible. Like, you have a taskbar, it's visible all the time, like in Windows and KDE and other desktop environments on Linux. So to me, that's my little gripe with GNOME. But overall, it's a good desktop environment. It works good. I like the theme. I like just the dark theme looks good. I like, just keeping it basic. I do change the icons because I'm not really a big fan of their icons. But the icons are not bad out of the box. They're nicer than KDE icons by default. I'm talking about default icons. Of course, we're all going to change that. So I do like the papyrus icons. Obviously, I always use that. Manjaro uses it as well. But anyways, yeah, I quite like Gentoo. I think it's a good system. And I'm still going to be playing around with it in VirtualBox. But so far, my impressions are very well. I mean, I have used Gentoo a lot in the past. I used to actually use it just Gentoo with a tile window manager. I think I use it with Awesome, because I use Awesome a lot back in the day, because Awesome is awesome. But I don't use it so much nowadays, but I used to love Awesome a lot. So I'm still gonna probably play around with it in the virtual machine and learn more about the system. Like really learn a lot about, work with it, more. Understand how to update your portage config files. I'm not sure if I figured that out already, but stuff like that, like how to sync your package, how to update your system, and all that stuff. I had him put on a host, so how to install NVIDIA drivers. That's good. That's gonna be fun as well, and how to hook the modules to each new kernel that it compiles, like what Arch Linux does with DKMS. I'm sure there's something similar to that for Gentoo. I don't know. I'm gonna. I don't know. I'm curious to see. I should do another VM and just do Gentoo strictly all binary source and see how well that works. Just binary source, no source, just all using binary source packages. Or at least try to use mostly all source. I'm not sure how that works, but I will probably do another VM just for that. And I also would like to have my system on XFS instead of external 4. EXT, or you guys call it. I call it external. I don't know if that is even the name for it. EXT4. I would rather use XF4. What I'm saying, XFS. So with this script, I try to modify it, and what happens is that it will let me format my system to XFS, but when I reboot the system and try to, go into root, it makes my file system only read only, and I have no idea why it's doing that. I actually should just make my own script, or at least modify the script that I see that person have, and just really highly configure it for what I want it for. Because I used to do something similar like that with Toxout Linux. I'd done scripts how to that it installs an Arch Linux system, and pretty much the same idea. I wonder if there's an easy way to install Gentoo manually. Because their handbook is, I tried following it, and I was following it, step by step, and I came to some problems with it. I don't know what happened, but I don't know. I should retry that again. But yeah, once again, really like Gentoo. I'm like, it's growing on me, man. Like, I love Arch Linux. I'm a big Arch Linux fan, but something about Gentoo, I don't know how to say this. The more I use it, the more I only want to use Gentoo. Isn't that crazy? Like, I like Gentoo a lot. It's a great system. Works really well. Anyways, that is just a video of me just, giving my thoughts on Gentoo, playing around Gentoo, and showing you my Gentoo system that I have on in a virtual machine. And thinking about probably putting it on this computer here that I'm doing this screencast on, my B550 Plus. Or I could get another NVMe disk and put that in this computer and just have another disk, keep Arch Linux, and just have another disk for Gentoo. I probably will do that. That's a good idea. That's what I will do. I will buy another NVMe disk, because I was going to get one anyways, but this time I have a good reason to get one, to use Gentoo. That's what I'll do. Yeah, I'll have Gentoo and Arch Linux. I'll buy another Evo 970 1 terabyte NVMe disk. Cheers. That sounds good. Anyways, guys, thanks for the watch. Cheers.